My name's Jill, and if I were to pick one word that described my life before I knew Jesus, it would be longing. I was desperately longing for affection and longing to be seen and heard and longing to know if I'm beautiful and of worth. I was longing to be adored and looking in all of the wrong places to find that. I really reveled in the attention that I got from boys and thinking that this is what I'm looking for. And then later in college, being seen at parties was so superficial, but in the moment I didn't really notice or care. Regardless of how much fun I thought I had at night, every next morning I really felt this sinking, dark, empty, lonely feeling of hopelessness. And I couldn't even remember what I had done the night before and would have to go to girls in my house to ask them what had happened. But I had grown up in a very loving family. I had every need and want met. I had wide open spaces to run and play in. But I knew there had to be something more, and for as long as I can remember, I was looking for that. So when my sweet friend in high school lured me to Jesus through the promise of a water park and her church camp, that's where I first heard my desperate need for a rescuer from my sin. And that was the first time I learned that there was something bigger than myself, and there was this God who wanted to know me and wanted to be known, and I just felt like I had waited my whole life to hear about that. But it wasn't until 4 years later that Jesus chased me down in my freshman year of college through two girls in my sorority. And although my insecurities still rear their ugly heads occasionally in my life, the word that best describes my life after Jesus turned my whole world upside down is seen. Even if I don't always feel secure and confident, I know I can stop and remember that I am seen and heard, and I'm adored and beautiful and of great value only because of the one who rescued me from myself. And I find rest in knowing all that I am, all of my fears, even the smallest victories that no one else sees, are seen by Jesus. And he is the only one who could ever know all of me, see me with all of my junk, and instead of rejecting me, he died for me. He chose to leave his throne in heaven and be born a helpless, humble baby with the purpose of dying for me. He died in my place for all of my ugly, rebellious, oppressive sin that screamed out, "I reject you, God. I want to be in charge. I want things to go my way." And he chose to love me and to sacrifice himself for me. So I went from longing to be seen and wondering if there was something more to life, and I found Jesus, but it wasn't until I fully understood the depth of my sin and gave my life to Christ that I really knew freedom and felt seen for the first time. Thanks for listening to my story.